Okay, here is the possible clinical pearl that I'm testing out, and I need you guys to actually verify. Now, I had some chronic DeQuervain's issues that I blogged about earlier this year, and it was mainly in the extensor pollicis brevis. So I had some help with David Weinstock from Neurokinetic Therapy, who found that through a Skype session that I had an inhibited brachioradialis, which was causing facilitation of extensor pollicis brevis. So when I started releasing this got better. However, I could not reduce the tone or the tenderness in this area, which is ironically where the kettlebell came around and hit. Now, I thought that I potentially had a radial fracture, but after I realized it was some EPB tenderness, releasing this definitely made this better. However, I could not do anything to release the extra tone and tenderness in this area. Now, I definitely tried cervical work, thoracic work, manipulation, mobilization, treated like MDT derangement, cervical derangement, did some radial nerve mobs. That did not help either. Everything was always increased, no worse. Now, I tried slacking this on a counterstrain theory by doing some wrist extension, some thumb extension, and IP extension, and that actually flared us up so much. It was about a 9 out of 10. I could barely even move it 2 or 3 days ago. Later that evening, I just thought, well, what if there's I did the wrong direction in terms of directional preference for a rapid responder. So I tried repeated end range loading and deflection, and surprisingly, it was a little bit painful at the end range. The more and more I did it, it rapidly improved, and my wrist was so, it was about 95% pain-free here, with very little pain here. So end range flexion with ulnar deviation actually flared this up due to some stretching and loading of the tendons, but end range flexion or radial deviation actually seems to reduce it even faster. It was also the first night in about 3 months that I was able to wake up with no pain in either here or here. So the directional preference was end range loading into flexion. I also found that distal radial ulnar A to P glides also seem to help. And I think that, again, due to the kettlebell coming around and hitting, because I had a lack of wrist extension control, it possibly hit my radius and moved it anteriorly. So a little radial posterior mobilization and repeated wrist flexion, which is essentially the same thing because it's convex on concave, which would also move the radius posteriorly. That was my directional preference. Now, I don't see enough DeQuervain's to see if that would actually help, so I want you guys to go out there, and if you have any wrist patients, chronic wrist pain, or especially around EPB or EPL, to see if that actually helps. It may be unique to my situation due to the fact that I was hitting it with kettlebells, but we'll see. I don't have enough patients to actually check. I'm only an N of 1 at this point. So hopefully this is the clinical pearl. Report back and let me know what you guys find.